Hello and welcome back to Heroes and Hooligans, where we are playing our Thursday night campaign, Gilded Destinies, episode 23, where our players are going to go take care of some boring business.
Yes.
As we come back to the world of Eberron, we see Kokola, Zenlin, Jillian, and Reznor gathered here at the Cornerstone Tower. As we move in, we see a discussion about what their next move is here at about midday on the 18th of Siphoros.
Right, so I gave someone a key. They're going to check out the tower because apparently the tower is a teleportation circle. But they did say there's another one in the area that's running, and they gave me the code, so we should be able to get back if we want to go to Sean.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to go, except for I kind of want to make sure my grandfather's okay before we leave, assassin attempt recent and all, the mayor's already gone, so he's out of town. So just want to check on grandfather before we go, make sure maybe he's got a different place to stay or something.
That's fair. I mean, I imagine we'll be back tonight as long as, can I use 100 gold?
Yeah. I mean, we have the money.
Then yeah, we should be back tonight. We shouldn't, unless whatever Bo has for us is going to take us days, which I can't imagine. We should be back before the end of the night.
Well, I can imagine my mother's, I'm going to need to speak with my mother, but also, my father, if we're just stopping in, maybe my dad's probably going to want to know how grandfather is, assassination information aside. I just prepare just in case we don't make it back tonight.
That's fair. I could always go back to the library again. Well, you do that. If we go talk to Bo, deal with that, and then you and Shen can go, or Jillian can go to your mom's, and I can go chill at the library, and then you can come find me there when you're done. I assume you don't want me, since I'm not supposed to know that you're part of the family still.
Yeah. Well, we can play it off because my father's still there and he'll want to meet everybody. He's a lot like my grandfather. He's super nice. And I have to stop to say hi to my dad. He's my parent.
Yeah, you would know that you still have guest rights in the house. You can come and visit, all that. You're just not a member, so you can't be seen to be using their resources for free.
Right. That, essentially.
You would also know from the letter that Bor had written you that it's expected to just be like a single meeting as soon as you're available.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be long. So, as long as your grandfather is good for a couple hours, which I think he was helping out in town, right?
Yeah, I just maybe want to ask Fetheric to either keep an eye or if he would spend the night with my grandfather.
That's fair.
He's on our way out anyways, right?
Yeah, we'd have to go into town to get gems anyway, so we can do it, and I can take us there from anywhere. It's only the destination that needs to be fixed.
Okay. So, we have to get your gems to travel anyways, so, we'll probably, because the store, I think, is near where they're working, right?
You would know the best place to buy gems is gems of this potency is probably your mentors. And I'll say you could actually have bought some last night when you were discussing the plan with her.
Yeah, I wasn't saying we actually had to go. I was just logically, yeah, we can go into town.
Yeah. I'm just saying we can have that be an off-screen thing you do. You run up there, you're like, hey, I actually need to borrow some components. Let me give you the cash.
Okay. Yeah, I just really want to see Fetheric for a few and ask, because I feel like if I say, hey, grandfather, don't sleep at your house, he's going to give me the whole, I'm a strong dwarf, I fended him off, I'm going to be okay, sort of thing, want to stay home. But it would be more welcoming to having Fetheric spend some time with him.
Yeah. You head into town. Everyone go ahead and give me just a quick perception check, low DC, except for Coca-Cola, who's going to meet it immediately with her passive.
Okay.
You can make a check if you want to see if you roll higher, but you're going to get the
14.
information. You're going to get some information either way. 14 for Zen.
I definitely
22.
did go higher.
All right, 22
What's that?
for Jill. All right, so Coca-Cola, your passive is a 20, right? Or a 19?
Yeah. 20.
Cool. So you and Jill are both going to spot the same thing. You see your grandfather is over working on the granary, and you see that all of the workers who are there with him appear to be dwarves from vassal clans. It looks like your grandfather's kind of assembled himself a little bit of an honor guard already.
Okay.
Jill, you also see this. You see as well Fetherick up on top of one of the apartment buildings, keeping a constant, like, he's turning 360 lookout. Then on a 14, you notice that the tavern, while still getting repaired, is back to operational already. And you see that none of the residential buildings are getting any work done at all yet. So far, the only things being worked on are the granary, which now has a majority of the Iron Gut workforce, and the tavern, where most of the other civilians are.
How much grain do we have left? I mean, how damaged was it?
Do you want to head over and check it out?
Yes, since I am
Sure.
temporary mayor.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Jill, you begin to head off towards the granary. Coca-Cola and Zen, are you following? You going to check anything else out? If Zen, you want to have say you're running off and doing your quick purchase and then going back.
Yeah, Zen can dip off
We
and
can
buy
get
the
into
gems
it
right
scene in
now.
a few seconds. Yeah.
How
Cool.
much money do you need, Zenlin, so I can take it from inventory?
Let me double check, but I do believe it's 50 gold pieces per.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you need
50 gold pieces of precious gems, which are consumed, and that's every cast. So 2 of those gets us there and back, and I can worry about more later.
Okay, so I'll give you 100. Do you need anything else while you're there? Do you want to grab anything? Do we need potions or, healing potions or anything along the lines?
Yeah. Anything that's like PHB uncommon or less, you can purchase here. Just let me know what it is, and I'll give you a price.
Okay. I just want to know if you need me to give you a little extra money or anything along the way.
I think it would be good to look into health potions, and once we have all of our money go, because I know there was some stuff that I think Jill and maybe even Reznor was looking at the magic shop that we thought was too expensive, but we had more money than I thought. So maybe when we get back, but we shouldn't need that stuff now, right?
Maybe probably not, but I just, with the things going on with the assassins and so on and so forth, I don't want to be caught with my pants down, so to speak. I want to be prepared for anything to happen.
Anyone who wants to can go ahead and make me a wisdom check. Not a save, so no proficiency, just D20 add your wisdom.
Well, I'm not very wise today. I got a 7. It was a good one.
Oof.
It's okay. Zen got an 18.
All right.
Got a
I
19.
think that's a 19 for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So we have an 18, 19, 7. Zen and Jill, you do remember that one of the last things that happened as you left Sharn was that you were accosted by a band of thugs who seemed to have your name and number, or at least the name and number of your business. Like, they weren't just a random stopping thing.
I guess there was that gang. I guess in my mind, I feel like I've gotten a lot stronger since then, and we handled them fine then, so they don't worry me. But if you think we should be prepared, I can certainly grab a few healing potions. I think those are what, 50 gold pieces a piece.
Yeah,
I
and we
think
handled them fine. We had Jolly with us, but you know,
I
we're
also think
one.
yeah, I also think on a 19, Jill, you remember them referring to being sent by a boss. So there's other elements potentially at play as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so given all of that information, plus what's going on with these assassins and such, I just want to be prepared for anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what, you want to give me like 300 gold pieces? I'll grab some gems, grab a healing potion for each of the four of us.
Yeah, I'll grab. I'll give you 320.
Okay.
So that way, I don't know if that'll really help. If that extra 20 will do much, but in case there's anything, you know, whether there's some herbal components or something you need or whatever, you know, grab whatever.
Actually, I'll say above the table, if you guys want, I'll tell you right now, this episode is going to be non-combat. But if you want, you can give me a post, like give me a list sometime before the
Shopping
session.
list and gold.
Give me a
spent.
shopping list, and you can spend out of your total party gold and say that's how much you did.
There you go. But I took off my sheet 320, so that's what you've got.
Yeah.
And I'll go with Jill because that's where everybody is over by the granary. While she does political things, I'll speak to my grandfather and such.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And Jill will hand you some pre-made tea that she's made for your grandpa, and just, I'm like, will you tell him just drink this every morning with his breakfast, and it'll help him feel not
Yeah.
so tired.
Go ahead and give me
Thanks.
either a medicine check, or if you have proficiency in an herbalism kit, give me that check with advantage.
Okay, I do have an herbalism kit.
Yeah, so that's just a medicine check with advantage.
Okay. Oh, here we go. 1 and
Oh, that works.
2.
Hell yeah.
26. Yeah.
All right. Grandfather is not going to be feeling any of the effects of his old age as long as he remembers to drink his tea.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So,
You guys coming back into his life has been great for his health. He is no longer eating hardtack with honey.
oh, that was rough. I cringed as a player. Yeah. So okay, we
as a GM, I saw you cringe and I felt bad because that was a personal anecdote. I was like, yeah, okay, grandfather's based on me in this case. Now I feel bad.
Well, here we go. We go into do things
Yeah,
to the tower.
You and Jill move up to the you and Jill move up to the granary. And Jill, you actually see that people are noticing you approach. And they seem to be, like, a couple of them give a little half salute, a bunch of people wave, some nod, but they get back to work pretty quickly. Do you want to look around and see if you can find some type of, like, foreman or something, someone who's organizing things?
Yes, definitely. She's gonna check around, see if there's anybody that can give her information about how much grain is left that's still can work for people, and what we need to do to, if we need to gather some from out of town, from local farms, how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna say give me a investigation or an insight to try to pick out who's in charge here.
Okay.
I'll say if you do investigation, do it with advantage. If you do insight, roll it straight.
Okay, with advantage. Okay,
Cool.
17 is the highest I got.
Hell yeah. You're able to pretty quickly realize who people are going to for orders when they finish one area. And you see a beautiful, stout halfling woman, wide smile, blonde curls flowing down the back of her head, who is wearing a little like leather worker's gherkin, the apron, and seems to have a wide array of tools spread around her that she's tossing to people as she reassigns them different tasks. She's calling out orders in a very chipper voice. It's very encouraging, doesn't sound very demanding, but it's, all right now, how about you over there? Start working on the roof over here, and you over there, I could really use your help with the drain pipes over there.
All right. So yeah, Jillian will walk up to her and she'll ask her about like how are the grain stores? Are we going to be okay this winter? What do we need to do to get more? Who do I need to talk to make it happen?
Well, Deputy Mayor, it's a bit of a worry. You see, it's already Sephiroth. Winter's upon us in just another month, and we lost 75% of the stock to the acidic venom. We've got enough to make it through in the town stores, but it won't be a comfortable winter, I'll tell you that. And if any rot creeps in or anything like that before we can get the granary fixed, we might lose a few. We could. There's a couple things we could do to alleviate it, but we don't. I'm not sure if the town has the funds.
Would we be able to send Beep over to help?
Yeah, you could send Beep over to help for sure. Yeah, I'll say Beep is a construction bot. This is not exactly what he's designed to do, so I'm going to say his advantage and disadvantage cancel out here. But I'm going to have you make a roll for Beep. Go ahead and roll a d20. You're going to add proficiency +3.
Okay.
Beep scales off of party proficiency, by the way, just to let you guys know.
Oh, 12.
12? All right. A 12's not bad. He's putting in just about as much work as every other worker.
Wait. You said
I think it's 15.
Yeah, you said proficiency plus 3, which is proficiency is 4.
Oh, 16.
So that's a 16. Yeah, 16.
Okay.
Great. No, Beep's actually doing better than average. He's doing the work of almost 2 fully grown dwarves as he rushes around picking things up in his little spindly arms, handing them off. You see he's really good at scanning the area to make sure everything's level. He's putting markings down for everyone. And you see that as they continue to work over the next, we'll say about half an hour, Beep is actually managing to suggest improvements through pure force of headbutting and beeping incessantly until someone does it right.
Excellent. Yeah. And you know what? He also can give you a mate or a cappuccino, whatever you want.
I forgot about Beep's espresso maker.
Make sure you take your breaks and stay caffeinated, my friend.
Actually, I'm going to say for the espresso maker, I'm going to go ahead and roll an advantage for the crew as well to see how much work they're getting done.
We got these workers on speed right now, my friend.
That's a natural 19 on the first roll. Let's go ahead and crit check for them. That's a crit.
Nice.
You see between Beep's high energy insistence and this halfling artificer foreman who you've been talking to, who, by the way, introduces herself as Wara.
Excellent.
Their enthusiasm and espresso spreads to the entire crew, and it honestly goes a little Disney for a second. They are singing along as they work, as you see a bunch of dwarven brewery workers. Oh, the nail and stomp the ground. Flatten it out and fix it up. They can't carry a tune in a bucket, but they're fixing the granary real quick. But you see, she does turn to you. So a few options I'd been thinking about, and a couple of people that suggested to me would be hiring one of the druids from the nearby area to come in and force our fields to flower this close to winter. But they can get pretty pricey, and they don't often want paid in gold.
How do they like to be paid?
Usually acts of service, or very rare alchemical ingredients, that sort of thing. Nothing that we wouldn't be capable of hiring someone to do, but it gets pricey, and time is a constraint here.
All right. Well, my friends and I are going to be going to Sharn today, but we'll be back later. Are there any alchemicals we could get, or maybe we could see if we can secure a shipment of grain?
If you're going to Sharn, actually, there's some city druids there that could come out and help us out. They'd be able to speed up repairs for us, and they might be able to force the plants to grow. I hear they've got a whole level there that's nothing but forest. Forest hanging in the middle of the air. Who would have thought?
Yes.
And Jill, you actually know a couple of druids from your house who work in the city of Sharn and do take gold as payment. You get the feeling it might be like a little more expensive gold-wise than hiring a local would be, but it'd be a lot more expedient.
Okay, we can do that. I wonder. The brewery, I know as a home brewer that you can have something that you can drink in about 2 weeks. But should we secure some maybe malted grain or something so that they continue to make some ale?
So you would know that that's definitely a good idea. You would know the meadery does a very small amount of beer, just basically to act as clean water for people, essentially. But it's primarily the mead, so you don't need much grain for their processes, and they have a separate store from the rest of the town as well. So it could be an option to approach the meadery and say, hey, can we buy this grain out from you to be animal feed as well?
Okay, I'll talk to Coca-Cola about that.
But yeah, there's a lot of options here, but it all comes down to how are you going to pay for it, and who are you going to pay for it. You also know from what Mayor Brightfoot was telling you that the town's treasury won't be able to be accessed until the mayor's office is repaired, because incoming and departing have full control over that.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could take a loan or something, but yeah, I do need to get to the office and check things out. Then.
I mean, if you need a loan, some bankers in Sharn.
Yeah. I do know some dwarven bankers in Sharn.
Fuck them.
You have
and yes, I say that out loud.
You have the full powers of the mayor.
That's right. I've got a shiny badge.
And you know Kundarak is trying to deal with the Revan's mayor. or to make a deal with them.
Yeah. So
I'm going to say, actually, Jillian, give me an insight at disadvantage, please.
okay. Inside disadvantage. Oh,
You only need to hit a 5 to get some information, then it gets progressively better.
okay. With disadvantage, I got a 9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the assassins at the mayor's house said they were there because he wouldn't take out a loan. And Zenlin said that maybe the reason they wanted to assassinate grandfather was so Coca-Cola would become mayor.
I think we're going to need to head over to the mayor's office and see what we can dig up before we head out of town.
Hell yeah. Coca-Cola. While Jillian is speaking to Wada and getting beeped to begin work on the construction, you head over to speak with your grandfather, who is working on the granary, and thanks to Jillian's smoothies this past week, seems to be in quite good condition as he does so.
Good. Hey, grandfather. Here's some tea. This is from Jillian. We need to head into Sharn just for a little bit. We're not going to be gone for hopefully very long, but just in case we do get stuck there the night, this is some tea from Jill. Drink it in the morning. Keep drinking it. It'll help, with healing and, helping you feel better, kind of like how you are now. Also, on account of recent events, I don't know if I really, and I'm not saying you're not capable, but maybe Frederick could come and spend the night with you just in case we don't make it back. If we make it back, I'll be there.
You see one of these vassals working alongside your grandfather overhears this, turns, spits on the ground. He don't need no Rockfoot orphan. He's got us, doesn't he?
He does, but I'm going to need you to remember that Rockfoot orphan is part of what saved half of this town. So please be respectful towards him.
All right. Yeah, my bad. But no, we already failed all these little once. We won't do it again. We'll be in the house. There'll be 2 of us in every room, and there'll be no worries to be had.
Okay, well, that's great. But one more thing about Frederick, and I'm going to need you to tell your friends. If his mom and dad accepted him as a Rockfoot, then for all intents and purposes, he's a Rockfoot. Remember that. And I'm going to pat him on the shoulder.
I will make a small correction. That was a misspeech on my part. It is Stonefoot, not Rockfoot.
Oh, Stonefoot. There you go. And I'll pat him on the shoulder.
Hey, I called him a Stonefoot, didn't I? He's just the Stonefoot orphan. He is what he is.
A Stonefoot's a Stonefoot.
Dead, ain't they? Yeah. He's a Stonefoot with dead parents.
Well,
Nothing I said wasn't true, was it?
Be respectful.
And you see your grandfather actually turns to this dwarf who's arguing with you. I'd have you remember your place in front of my heir. And the dwarf turns around, shuts the fuck up, and goes back to work. He'll be guarding the outside tonight.
Yeah, well,
get a bit of a fall chill, won't you? No response.
as long as you're going to be all right for the night, because I'm not saying that we won't make it back, but just in case,
It's easy. It's hard to kill an unprepared dwarf. It's damn near impossible to kill one that's ready.
Well, I'm glad that you are going to be ready. Even though I know you're capable, I'm always going to worry. But do you need anything from Sharn? We're going into Sharn. Do you need anything?
I tell you what, I think. Come with me back to the house. I think I have a shopping list. And he begins patting his pockets. You can go ahead and give me an insight check.
Insight.
DC 5.
14.
All right. Your grandfather's pulled this trick with you before when he was trying to get you to sneak him candies in front of your grandmother. You know he's going to walk out of earshot with you and then pretend he found the shopping list when he goes back.
Okay, well, I already know your shopping list. I got you. Don't worry.
Well, no, he has something to tell you.
Oh,
That's what he's trying to tell you something away from other people.
that's okay. Yeah, then I'll walk with him. All right, let's go get your shopping list.
You walk away from the granary just a bit, just enough to be out of earshot, and he says, so I hear... Keep this on the down low. But I hear there's some very, very good elven spirits that I haven't tried before. And I would love it if you could bring me a couple of bottles back.
Okay, I can do that.
And he says I think it's Dream Seer is what they call it. And if you could get me say about a half a pound of the Jarasco pipe leaf, that'd be much appreciated.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Here's some gold for it. And so it's actually here's some platinum, and hands you 3 platinum.
Okay. Well, she'll tuck it into the coin pouch and such and give him a hug and all that, family huzzah stuff. I'm not a hugger in the real world, so I don't really know how it goes.
No, he hugs you back a little awkwardly. Like he hasn't done this very much in the past 20 years. All right. Pats you on the back. Well, oh, look, I found my shopping list. It was in my coat pocket this whole time. Here you go, Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Thanks. And I'll walk back towards where Jillian was with him and find Jill and Zen.
Yep. Jill, you are watching Beep and Wada conduct. Like, that's the best way to put this, is they are conducting a symphony of work. Did you ever see Fantasia 2000?
Yes.
Do you know the scene I'm thinking of? The one with the construction tower?
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, you see that the people of, like, the mayor is an important figure in the town. The people of this town can survive without direct guidance from the mayor. It's more, hey, we would really appreciate if you'd authorize a town expenditure on this. It's more of a town banker job. And you're honestly realizing more and more that incoming and departing probably do 90% of the job. You wanted to head off to the mayor's office to see if there was anything that could be found there, I suppose.
Yeah. Find out how bad the building is off, how much repair needs to be done, and then look and see if there's any documentation that can help me figure out how much money they have to buy grain or seeds or pay for a druid.
I think you're muted, bud.
Zen, I'm going to say you're returning from your shopping trip at this time, and you're able to easily catch Coca-Cola and Jillian, or at least Jillian, on the road over to the mayor's office. Coca-Cola, you going with her?
Oh, yes. I was muted too, but yeah, I'm going with.
Cool. All right. So you all head off to the mayor's office. When you arrive, you can see that the roof has caved in, similar to the way the mayor's house did. And there is space to move through the now broken doorway for Jillian and maybe Coca-Cola at a squeeze. Zen, you think it would take some skill for you to navigate this. It's possible, same as it is for Coca-Cola. You think it'll be a little easier for Coca-Cola. Jill, I'm going to let you know right now. It's because of your size small, you're going to be able to move through here without issue.
How about you guys go look and I'll keep watch out here?
Yeah. And you can see Reznor would not be able to move through here at all.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I don't really feel safe going in that fallen down building, Jillian. But we're only going to be gone just a little bit. Maybe you can have them work on this building next and, sign something and give it to the foreman that says once they get the building finished to give orders to incoming and departing to authorize what needs to be done.
Yeah, Coca-Cola and Jill, both because you are dwarves or a dwarf and have a belt of dwarven kind, go ahead and make me a history check using those to appraise about how much you think it would take to repair this building. I'll let you know it right now. It is more damaged than any of the other buildings in town right now. This appears to have been the first building that was attacked.
Jill, you and I both got the same thing. 5.
5?
Yeah.
You think that this building is damaged beyond what untrained repairmen could do, even led by the foreman from earlier.
So we need the rock burrows.
Maybe we could send a message off to them to come give us an estimate while we're out.
Yeah, maybe they can come in and do that. And then, well, I'm sure because you're acting deputy mayor here, you could write a note, right, that they could give that the foreman, or you could even give it to grandfather if you'd rather do. They can give it to incoming and departing once they get it built to pay the rock burrows, because obviously that's going to have to get done, and then to authorize payment for grain or something.
You would know that there is both a ravenry here in town where you can send messages off. It's attached to the post office. And Zenlin, you know someone who will, do sending spells for cheap.
I do. On that note, with the grain though, if there are people in Sean, we might be able to get a discount since travel would be handled by us, at least halfway. And if you're the mayor, I mean, depending how much these are, I imagine the grain could be more expensive if we were buying grain, but we're paying a druid to grow fields. We could potentially just use what's remaining in the party loot, possibly, and replenish our funds once things are up and running.
You know you're authorized as deputy mayor to approve loans from businesses.
If we can get a favorable interest rate, we could.
Well, I'm saying
Definitely
you have a business that has money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we could do.
Like I said, I don't know how much the druids are. I imagine obviously if we were buying grain for a whole town for the winter, that would be quite expensive, but that's not really what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think you would know from the foreman not even mentioning that. That's not something that's within the town's budget.
And I mean, Jillian, you told us about what the girl said, right? About the druids, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, she did say that the druids get paid. They will take payment in favors. Well, our company's in the business of doing favors, so that could work out potentially favorably for us in the long run.
That could. And I'm sure someone in town has this information. This isn't a big hurdle, but those are the local druids. We would have to find them.
Well, aren't there druids in Sharn? Maybe we could bring a city druid back and...
City druids take money in gold, take payment in gold. Local druids take favors, correct?
Oh.
Correct. You would know maybe some of the city druids would have a favor they'd want done in exchange. Like it's not off the books. They're just more likely to also take gold rather.
All right, so we just send 2 ravens off. We ask them where the city or where the local druids are located. Send a raven to them. Send a raven to the rock burrows. Go to fuck to Sharn and look, politics.
You send the raven off to the rock burrows. I'm going to say you send that one first since you're pretty certain about that taking that path. And while you're writing out the message for the second one, a little sprite appears in the air next to you.
Oh.
Oh. I've come to respond to a message.
Don't like that. That's not good news.
How did you know we were writing a message?
Because you've already sent it. I'm here representing Madam Rockborough.
Oh.
Who would love to let you know she'd be delighted to make a deal with the acting mayor of Revan.
Oh, well, Jillian.
That would be me.
This pixie or fairy or sprite, whichever little critter sprite. There you go. This sprite is for you. It's not the bubbly kind.
You see, it is like made of woven. Its skin is made of woven grass. Its wings are shaped and iridescent like a butterfly's wings, but are actually little rose petals that have flattened out and spread out. And it's got beady golden eyes. No sclera, no pupil, just gold.
Hey. Jillian would say,
you would be interested in continuing forward with the deal, miss?
Yes, definitely.
Lovely. I'll return the message as soon as I can. And you see she takes a little dagger out of her pocket and stabs herself in the heart. Dismiss herself.
Well then,
that's
a little
bit.
Zen, you know from your recent binding lessons, minor summons like this do not die if they perish on the material plane. They return to from whence they were summoned.
Zenlin raises an eyebrow at the sprite that stands on business, because that's wild.
You finish writing your letter. requesting someone to get in contact with the local druids. I'm actually going to say they have an address for like where the circle gets their mail at, that you can send it off to here at Ravenry.
Okay.
So you just say something like you're interested in trading a favor for plant growth potentially, for assistance in restoring the town's crops. At least, I mean.
Yep.
Something like that. All right, cool.
Yeah. Whatever we need to
this,
word it as the crops or whatever.
All right, cool. You get that letter sent off, and a few moments later, as you're all walking out of the Ravenry, you feel a little tug in the pit of your stomach, as if something is trying to call to you. Anyone who wants to can go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
21.
Oh, I rolled a nat 1.
I got a 16.
It was a 21.
21. Zen, you've actually experienced this before. This is a calling. Basically, someone is attempting to summon you guys to somewhere else on the material plane. And I'm going to say, since you beat a 20, Coca-Cola, you recognize that that's what this is. I don't think you've experienced it before. Zen, since you beat a 20, there's a little tingle of fey magic on this that you feel familiar with. You last felt this little rush of fairy when you entered the Rockburrow's hole.
Someone's summoning us. It could be the druids, because that seems like their thing, but this vaguely reminds me of the Rockburrows. For what it's worth, my spell will work for anywhere, so if things get that bad, we can always bamf out to Sean.
Sounds like a good idea.
Just give
All
in
right.
to the pull. Just let it pull you and you'll be there.
Okay. Well,
You recognize this Zenlin from a more, shall we say, forcible version tied to your name. Your mother had given your name to her aide that was supposed to watch over you. And they were very fond of using it to summon you back when they felt you were straying a bit off the path.
Yep.
You have learned how to resist it, though. So if that ever happens again, you get a save. And who you are as a person has changed enough from your childhood that upon your majority, that forced summoning no longer works on you.
Makes sense.
You've become your own person, so your mother can no longer give away your name.
Right, my true name is developed or changed.
Yep, precisely.
So yeah, Zen's not going to resist. He'll give in to the pull.
Cool. Coca-Cola, do you give in?
yeah, I'll ride the flu powder. Let's do this.
Hell yeah. Jill. On that nat 1, I'm going to ask you to make an insight check. And then I'm going to ask you to make a persuasion.
Got a 18 on the insight check.
I think you got a 16 on the insight.
Yeah, I got an 18 on the persuasion.
But that is plenty. You just needed to hit a collective 20. You have never felt this before. It feels unfamiliar. It feels not of this plane. But you trust your friend. And you don't think Zenlin seems very assured of what this is. Do you let go? Or do you follow it, rather? I mean,
Yes, Jillian would trust in Zenlin and since he knows what it is, and she will go.
Hell yeah. So our party arrives in a room filled with smoke. A roaring fireplace in the back, and a haze that sits at about eye level for both Zenlin and Coca-Cola. As you hear, "Darlings, you're back. We weren't sure you'd accept the call."
Well, it is generally considered somewhat rude to call someone who didn't give you their name themselves.
It was fully optional. And besides, you all introduced yourselves, didn't you?
It was a
Just
little bit
enough.
wobbly, timey-wimey, but
Just enough of a connection there to throw the line out for you to catch on. Speaking of connections, I hear Miss Maya wants to make a deal.
Be careful, Jillian.
Hey, we're honest people, honest workers. You could have asked your great-grandfather that. Well, I guess you couldn't have. He did die before you were born, didn't he? You would know your great-grandfather was the last Iron Gut mayor.
hey, Chip, above the table, do you need to take your intermission?
Yeah. Actually, this is probably a good time to do that. We're going to take a quick intermission. We'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20. But we will see you all then.
Yeah, I'll just leave us kind of rolling, and we'll just kind of chit chat. We'll have Reznor within 10 minutes too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool, perfect timing.
Excellent.
I will see you all soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'd certainly rather get Grain, the worst case scenario. I hope Chip's okay.
And that was my backdrop.
But worst case scenario, if we can't afford a druid or Grain, like you are a cleric, we can always create food and water and make like 10 pounds of food every day. It's just not very good.
Well, plus we have the magical food at our place too. I
I thought
wonder if
the food wasn't affected. I thought the food like larders were still empty.
no. When we locked the doors, all the food in the larder was good.
I don't know how much I trust that. That feels
Fair.
kind of questionable. I've
Hey,
seen
I'm
Ghost
just
Ship.
saying.
I have seen Ghost Ship too many times. And the first time was before my uncle almost made me expired rice-a-roni because I wanted rice-a-roni and it was expired. And then we got to that scene in Ghost Ship and he was like, "Guess you're glad I didn't make you the expired rice-a-roni that you wanted me to make anyways, huh?"
We'll turn this on some background music. I don't know what it's going to sound like, but it'll be some background music.
Hmm.
But yeah, I figure that's worst case scenario. And yeah, I don't know how much a druid is, but I imagine that when they price, they're imagining they have to travel there and back, and we can at minimum get them there with us. So like maybe we can get them to knock 20 gold off the price or something, since they don't have to travel there, just back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about a city druid. If we ended up having to get a city druid, we could at least bring them with us, you know.
That was my thought. And Zenlin has personal feelings about making packs. Not that that's what Grandma Rockborough or the druids really are doing, but the concept of we take payment in favors feels a little bit too much like a pack for Zenlin to think that's a good idea for his friend to do.
I mean, that's fair. I just was thinking, like, we already, you know, the druids, they have certain things that, you know, they can't do based on their beliefs and so on. Oh, there's Reznor.
Reznor.
Based on their beliefs and so on. So I was thinking, like, oh, maybe it's they need something picked up from here, or there's a mean creature bothering, one of their good creatures, and they can't, ethically cleanse that. You know what I mean? Like,
totally possible. It
Yeah,
could also be 20 years from now when they ask for your firstborn.
yeah, that's fair.
Jill needs to be careful about that because she's got a negative charisma, even though she's got the badge that helps with city business.
Yeah, that was essentially offered as a solution to Zenlin as a kid. He could make a pact, and as part of the pact, ask for himself to be healed, and he absolutely refused on principle.
Jill, don't you have enhance ability?
I do. Yeah, I could cast that on myself.
If you cast it on yourself, you could boost your charisma, whenever you're doing that. So you can do it in advance. So that way you don't have to really worry. It won't boost it much, but it'll still help, right?
I think it gives you advantage on charisma checks. It doesn't actually change the stat modifier.
Well, you already have advantage.
Yeah, if it's regarding city business. But yeah,
doesn't Belt of Dwarven Kind do something too? It's future character problems.
I'm gonna hold on. I'll be right back, just real quick.
You're good.
Hey, Reznor. We haven't left yet. We're all at the Rock Burrows, assuming you consented to get dragged along. We sent out a raven. So the city grain stores are 75% ruined from the acid from the wyvern attacks. So Jillian, as acting mayor, is trying to work out a solution to fix the grain stores. So we went to the city office, and it needed repairs beyond what the local repairman could do. So we ended up at the Rock Burrows. So we're working on making 2 deals and then headed off to Shard after that.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where we're at. So we're at the Rock Burrows now.
It might only be 1 deal. We haven't even heard back from the local druids yet.
Right. So we have 2 options for druids. What the druids can essentially do, because the town can't afford to buy the grain that they need. But what the druids can do is they can do some druidic magic and force the crops to grow, even though winter's only a month away. So it would force the crops to grow, so everybody would be able to reharvest, the crops again before winter, and fill the grain stores back up.
Yeah.
So we got 2 options: city druids who charge money, and the local druids who charge favors or expensive alchemical components.
I was thinking that maybe Coca-Cola should find out how much grain the meadery has. I mean, I know it's a meadery, but meaderies probably make braggots, which is like a grain-based mead. I don't know.
Right, but I mean, that's always something we can work on when we get back, because it's already there or whatever. But we, was sending the messages off on our way out of town as is.
And I think that's Zenlin's stance. I don't think we should talk to the local druids until we talk to the city druids.
Right.
This one, we have to do something with the Rock Burrows, but yeah, I'll also point out, while talking to this woman and making a deal, and it's all honest and fair, she did know enough of our true names to use them magically, and that's not really something you can do with just your generic name.
Right.
Like that, even if you don't have the full thing and aren't forcing it, you still need a little more than that, and I did not give her that.
Well, she's clearly has some sort of Fae influence, so
be careful is what that means. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're in witness protection basically right now, but the mayor's a druid, isn't he?
Who? The mayor?
The old mayor.
I don't know. I don't think that's ever been confirmed.
Because I know he had plants and stuff growing near his house that was not normal.
I think he's suspended, but he's out of town, so
yeah,
we don't know when he'll be back.
Yeah.
We got him in witness protection right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
witness protection where he's low-key gonna expose everyone.
I hope not.
I gotta ask Chip. I think I gotta find my axe again at some point.
Did you lose it? It's magic.
Yeah,
It comes back to you.
Well, I dropped it on the rooftops when I went feral because I didn't have it for the fight against Roarin.
Well, we went back into town, so you probably would have got it when we were in town.
Yeah. I assume that Reznor would have went and got it back, like when he came into town to find us and back to the tower, etc. And
Yeah.
if not, I would assume that the reason it didn't return had to do with your feral state, and once you were no longer feral, the magic activated and it was there.
Yeah. Well, because the... Yeah, I would assume. I know the elemental cleaver is only when I'm raging.
Either way, we were just in town. You would have grabbed it when we were there.
Yeah, I would have thought I would. I don't know. I'll check with him just to make sure.
Also, everyone has one healing potion. I'm going to remove the extras I put in my inventory.
Okay.
One healing potion. Wow. I like it in gifts.
Guys, I can't wait to do my spell. I've been thinking about the description like the entire session.
Well,
Oops.
you're going to get to do it soon. Don't worry.
Oh,
Have to
he's
wait.
100%. Unless she like forcibly boots us out, it's happening right in here as soon as this is done.
Just right there in the Rock Bros den. And on that note, we teleport. Goodbye.
Creepy shadow magic teleport in the middle of their room. I don't like the way they pulled us here. Convenient, sure. Also rude.
Like a regular healing potion?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, add.
It's a normal one.
So yeah, you can just mark down the 300 and we'll use the 20 for the like teleport tax when we get there.
Yeah,
We
I'll just
shouldn't
give
have
it.
one because we shouldn't have one when we get back because either we get a sending that the tower is okay and we're not going to tax ourselves, or we're going to a different sigil circle that I know of that's at an abandoned place, so there's no one there to tax us, right?
Right. I don't see what could possibly go wrong. Well, I'll just give it to you since you're running the teleportation. You'll be the one when we
fair.
land. You know.
That's fair. Essentially, when he says how much the tax is, whatever it isn't, you can add back to your stuff, because I personally am not a fan of D&D Beyond. I think the way you add items and gold and adjust that thing is kind of obnoxious, but
Most of the time, I just keep track of my notes.
I was like, yeah, like I don't the notes is another one. I don't like the notes they have in here.
I
have a
have notes on my computer.
Yeah, I just have a notebook here.
I would be better served with like a series of Google Docs or something for different topics and types of notes than trying what I've been doing and trying to get it on that character sheet.
I've done that before with parties where we would have like a Google Sheets and we would have the tabs and we would all have access to it and keep notes.
I would do something like that with Fiora for her like captain's log that she keeps.
Be pretty good.
That's when I do the best with notes, when I do it like in RP style. Like when I go back like after the session and I'm like, this is how my character viewed what happened, and I'm like recording it. That's when I actually like get notes.
That's how Cappy takes notes. Cappy takes notes from like character perspective, and I always love listening to the way that they take them because it's funny to me.
Because if Don is taking notes, it's super shorthand. So like, let me see some of the things I have here.
Yeah, my notes are more just reminders than they are like detailed.
Let's see. I managed to transcribe essentially everything I found on the stone in the library at Shard. Then underneath that, I just have toenail of a snake person, feather of an angry harpy, blood of a dead giant. Gnolls each have tattoo of 4 claws slashing down and across the back of the spine. I believe that was outside of Zilspar. Then I have the disease. I have disease, soul torn from fratricide, possibly bind an elemental evil to the dragon shard. I have, like, it's all very short form.
I take pretty detailed notes, even about stuff that happens, like when Reznor was off with his friend or whatever. I have a bunch of notes about that. Like, I just take
my notes are Jill's perspective, so it's like, oh my god, dragons. Make sure Zenlin doesn't die.
I used to color code my notes, but I have gotten lazy and stopped doing so. But like, I have pages upon pages upon pages of notes. I write everything down, even the questions that we asked and the answers for each one of the dead folks that we talked to. Oh, I was watching the D&D movie, and it made me giggle because, you know, there's the part in the new D&D movie where they go to the field and they like resurrect the dead guys and they're like asking them all questions and they end up digging up the whole field. I was giggling because the very last guy that they dig up and they're talking to, they don't ask him all of the questions and he just kind of sits there. And they walk away and they're like, hey, he's like, hey, you didn't ask me everything. You know, he's just like freaking out because they left him animated. And I was giggling because what if we would have did that to one of these fuckers that we just reanimated?
I think Zenlin made a joke about that. Like, we could just do it, and Chip pointed out that it only actually lasts 10 minutes.
It was still comical watching the movie. Like, I was thinking of that because it's literally what we just did. We went through all of them and asked them each questions.
We were very thorough.
We were. Hey, it was important. It was important information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are better. I opened one of our old D&D campaigns that I knew I took notes in. So I have Big Armored Guy, God of Chaos. Wrath Modar, Red Wizard of Thay who escaped. Ask Balgathus about the Well of Dragons. Those are 3 separate notes I have. If we come back after 2 weeks and that's not helpful, but like when I'm writing it, I'm like, yeah, I'll understand the gist of like what I mean by this. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, what does this
even mean?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember what any of this is, guys.
Sometimes when I'm writing fast and I'm trying to get all of the information written down, like when there's like a lot of talking going on, I write and then it'll be like so sloppy that at the time I can read it and then I go back to read it in my cursive. I'm like, what did I even say? Like, I wrote this like a drunk person. It's all slurred together. I can't read it. Like, why did I connect 3 words together? Like, man. At least we take notes though. Like when the GM asks us questions, we have notes. At least all of us take some form of note.
I don't really take that many notes if I'm honest. I just remember the gist of most everything that happens. That's why, like, if you notice when I do a recap, like, I will have the, like, vague major events, and then other people will be like, oh, yeah, and this specific thing happened. I'm like, you're right, and that is important. But I totally, like, that slipped my mind, and I only have the vagaries.
Chip said if we want to work on the shopping list now, that's cool. I said 4 healing potions and the 2 gems. Bingo, bango, bongo. Easy.
Well, I imagine it's smaller gems, but... Because it's just, like, it's not a gem worth, it's just, like, 50 gold pieces of precious gems. So I imagine it's, like, he has a bag of, like, 20 rocks. Not rocks, but, you know.
I just said 2 gems worth 50 each. How about that? Because that's a thing. 58 gold piece gems. Because that's the 300, and then you'll have the 20 for the taxes or whatever.
Yeah. And I think Chip said the taxes are usually like 5 gold, but I don't know if that's 5 gold per person. Or
Person, yeah. So if it's 5 apiece, then that's 20 right there. Well, what are you going to say to the rock burrows?
Gonna ask them if they could repair the city building, the mayor's place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then just ask them, like, what do they want to do that? Do they want gold? What do they want? Because just acting temporarily, it's not my permanent job.
Yeah, but so how we had contracted them to work for us in the future, maybe we can, as you're the acting mayor, you can make a deal with them, and then the mayor, when he comes back, he'll kind of like continue that deal that they do construction for the town in the future for like a lower price, because I'm sure wyverns are going to attack again until we can figure out how to make that stop entirely. So
Cough, Reznor, cough.
Reznor.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we need to ask them if they want to do. There was something we needed to ask them about the tower, if you remember correctly. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's probably in my notes somewhere.
They were supposed to go and give us an estimate on the repairs needed and what wards were needed. And once they were done doing that and the construction to do so, we get the map. I forget how much we agreed to pay them, but I'm sure Huli has that in her notes because Huli's good at that stuff.
Yeah, I already wrote that. I just have to flip back to it.
But that's what it is they already have to go and estimate and repair the tower.
Yeah, that's what I'll do is I'll ask them if they can give me an estimate for repairing the city building.
Do any of us have a overall map of the lands?
Yeah, we do.
I think it's pinned in Eberron.
I was meaning physically in game.
Yeah, we have it. It's the one Jolly made.
Gotcha. I thought Jolly had made it, but I didn't know if he's the one who had it and if we had figured out who was holding it.
I wonder if we could pin it in Discord so that we can find it easily.
I believe it is.
Oh, okay.
We already paid him, so we paid him 4 platinum to fix our place. I already paid him, and then it was 1 platinum for the map, or we could get it for free if we agreed to future contract.
Which we did, which is what we're doing now.
Yeah. And plus, they gave us information. So yes, I did have it written down.
Yeah.
This woman's
You
name.
should ask them what they know about the tower's teleportation capabilities. Since they have the blueprints and know about the wardings and whatnot, they might know if it's functional or not.
Her name, by the way, is Malfauna. That's the name.
Matron of the family?
Yeah, Malfauna is her name.
Malfauna.
Malfauna, Malfauna. Which means bad plants. Or bad animals.
Bad
animals. Mal is bad, and flora is plants, fauna is animals. So it's bad animals.
I think fauna is a different type of animals, I thought. But is it Malfauna or Malflauna?
Malfauna. Fauna. Like flora and fauna. Fauna. Anyways, we paid them already. It was originally... You're muted, Don.
I was saying you were right. Fauna is animal. So yeah, it would be like bad animal.
Yeah. So we originally paid them already the 4 gold. It would have been 5 gold plus 1 gold for the map, but we paid them the 4 and got a deal for future work because we knew we needed the repairs, but it was like cosmetics, and once we switch it over to like the depot and all of that for the train station, obviously Beep can lay the tracks, but we have to build like the platforms and so on. So they're going to do that in the future. So that was the deal we made with them.
Yeah.
Are we leaving
Basically
Beep,
paying them in
or
phases.
are we?
Beep is working in the city right now. So yeah, we left
Yeah.
Beep in Revin. He's helping repair. He's Jillian rolled really good, and he's shaved a couple of days work off of fixing the granary, which saves the grain that's in there from the rot that was possible to get if it took them too long.
Beep is so talented.
Beep is
Mhm.
best bot.
Yeah. And because Beep makes caffeinated beverages.
Yep. Beep is also serving espresso to him. So
That's why in my notes, Reznor loves Beep.
Reznor loves lamp.
Reznor loves Beep. Reznor does not love Lamp.
Okay, so Huli, make sure you remind me what we discussed. I'm just a little
actually, let me know what we
distracted
discussed.
by, real life pain.
Huh?
It was
Oh,
mostly
just
and Zunlin saying, "Be careful, because deals are bad."
All right. Well, in that case, we are back from our intermission. Welcome back to the rest of the episode of Gilded Destinies Boring Business, where we hope to get to boring, do some business. But first, we got to deal with the Rock Boros. Jill,
So-
you have just been addressed by the Madam of the Rockborough family, who has asked, "So I hear you. So I hear you want to make a deal." It's psychotic. I actually have to do the fake cigarette thing to remember to do the voice.
um, I don't know if it's really a deal, but more of like a contract. You know, we just need a little help getting the town back built up because it got destroyed by the Wyvern attack. So
Contract's just a deal the law enforces.
yeah, could you maybe give us an estimate? Have somebody take a look at the city building, the city hall, and just maybe give us
Sure.
an estimate on how much it would take to fix it up.
Yeah. So do you want the usual mayor's deal?
I don't know what that is. So tell me what the usual mayor's deal is.
Yeah. So your first repair is free, and then you're contractually obligated to offer every repair to us first for the remainder of your tenureship as mayor.
Which is kind of what we were going to do anyway, right, Jill? We were going to ask
Yeah.
if they wanted to, come back on contract in the city and,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then if you offer it to someone else first, I get you everlasting soul instead.
Wow.
I don't keep it for long. I let you move on and, go have your business with whatever afterlife you end up in. But I'm gonna take the lost business, out of you in pain first. Can't have a contract without a punishment clause, am I right?
I guess there has to be consequences.
I was thinking more
You
along
get
the
it.
lines of severance fees, hardship payments.
No. This is a family business, and family is personal.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing I'm not mayor. So sign your soul away, Jillian.
Well, now we've never. And you see, she turns to the rest of the women in the room. Have we ever done a deal with a deputy mayor before? Oh yeah. There was that one. I tell you what, there was that Stonefoot who wanted us to do the repairs for free monetarily and promised us his firstborn. And his punishment clause was that his line would come to ruin.
Oh, wow. We see how that works out.
So, you know, since you're only a deputy mayor, we could talk about other possible punishment clauses. What's the thing that matters third most to you in the world?
Well,
Third
listen,
most?
that's
About
a little...
yourself, of course.
Well, I'm just a temp. Third most?
Exactly. That's why we're not going to take the most important thing from you, your soul. You're just a temp. You're not qualified for all that soul bargaining, are you?
We already agreed to future business with you anyways, as we contracted you for the tower. So clearly we came back to you for that. So why do we need...
Yeah, but you're not making deals as you right now. You're making deals as the city of Revit.
Hey, folk. Can't live with them.
If you're gonna spend, are you gonna spend your money on the repairs? Because if so, it falls under the clause of the, contract we've already made.
Just
Anyone who wants to can make an intelligence check for me.
Can Zenlin cast message and point at Jillian?
Yeah, you can do that. They're gonna know you're casting message unless you have a way to hide it, but they're not gonna hear you.
Check. I am indeed a sorcerer. I very well might, but I don't. No, I have quick and heightened. I do not. I took careful instead of subtle. So yeah, that's fine. They can know I'm casting. That doesn't mean they know what I'm saying to her.
Yeah.
And Zenlin is effectively going to say, we could pay them out of our gold, and then we get paid back from the city, and then we're not violating the terms of the contract because we did pay them with our gold. They don't need to know about the other part. That's our business.
So you can nix that intelligence check I was having you make because Don, the player, caught it.
Zenlin, man.
Yeah. If you post dated a loan after you paid them.
Second message is, this isn't the first repair. Never mind. I was gonna say they also said first repair is free, so we don't have to pay them. But never mind.
They haven't done the repairs on the tower yet because you haven't told them it's go time.
Yeah, we paid them. We paid them for the tower already. We just haven't had them come to do it.
So this would be your first repair, but you're not sure if that is the mayor's deal or if that's
that was in my mind. I was like, never mind, that's the mayor's deal. This wouldn't.
Well, technically, Coca-Cola asked for the first repairs, didn't she?
Yeah, I made the first deal, so
that's where it's coming. If Jill makes this deal as the mayor of Revan and pays for it either with party gold or are you making a deal as a separate entity, a separate corporate entity, or are you continuing it as the corporation you're under?
Yeah, Jillian just doesn't even think like that.
Yeah. Well, Coca-Cola does because I don't want you to offer up your soul or nothing. So I'll just pay for it out of our company and we'll write a receipt to the city and the city can reimburse us for that because that's going to be no soul offering and in compliance with our contract with them in the first place, because we did say that if we needed any future repairs done, we would come to them, and we do. Because I think they asked us last time if we wanted cosmetic repairs done at the tower, and we hadn't agreed to that at the time, but I think we've discussed since then that we would like that done. So
yeah, 100%. So they look at you. All right. So just a business deal then between us and your company.
Same as before, just a different building.
Pleasure doing business with you, Ms. Irongut.
How much do we owe you, please?
Let me see. And she You see, grabs a crystal ball and casts a spell. And you can see there is a eagle's eye view of the broken mayor's office. All right. I can see here there's some innate magic in the land. You want us to take care of that for you? You just leave it the way it is.
Is it bad magic?
It looks like some sort of conjuration binding.
Oh no, leave
Leave
that.
it.
Leave that. That's the secretary of the mayor's office.
All right. So you just want physical repairs then?
Yep.
All right. We'll use. Assume you want us to use as much salvageable material as possible.
Yeah, that would be preferred.
All right. Your total is going to come out to full repair, mostly wooden building. We'll say 10 gold pieces.
10 gold pieces. Okay. Would you be willing to give the office a facelift and update the secretary's space for, say, a couple more gold pieces, maybe 13 gold pieces in total?
Oh, you want like a full internal update? What kind of architecture are you looking at? Do you want like a modernist? Do you want a pre-Great War?
Well, something that kind of fits in with the Revan aesthetic, you know.
Oh, all right. So you want classic gnomish or classic dwarvish?
You know what? Since it's a land of both folks, a little bit of influence of both would be nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, my son, he's huge on the interior decorating. He didn't really get into the building itself, but I bet he would love this project. All right, so that's. Well, I'm a little worried about material costs. Do you want all the furniture to match the style?
Yeah.
All right, we could do it for 15 gold pieces total.
Are you sure you couldn't make it 14? Maybe 13. I think 13.
I'm pretty sure. I have to have some money to take home to my very large family at the end of the day.
All right.
You know, most gnomes die after a couple of 100 years. That doesn't really happen for you. Population growth is exponential.
Okay, I think we can do
And I should be clear, there's a heavy friends of the family discount on there already. If Mr. Mayor Prop had come asking, it'd be about 3 times the price.
Well, it's a good thing it's not Mr. Mayor proper then, isn't it, darling?
That it is, dear.
Yeah, so I'll give her 15 gold.
All right. She spits again and goes to shake. Second deal, darling.
Yep, my gloved leather hand here. I will do that shaking bit. I'm not spitting and getting that loogie. I did that last time. One time was enough for me.
Speaking of,
But yeah, she
probably check
go
the
ahead.
tower as well. Now
Check
that
the
the
tower.
owners have moved in, you guys can get started on that too.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, right? Like, so you could work. You could get started on the tower.
You say go and we're there.
There may be someone else visiting to check on something else. Maybe you know about it. Apparently, the tower is a teleportation circle. You know, if
that was
functions.
That was our work actually. I don't know if it still functions. I haven't been inside in ages. But originally we had it tied to another array down in the Undercity, so that people could move large groups. But we expanded, and then it was teleportation from here to Sean, here to Breland, everywhere. Right. So Yeah, I mean, it was pretty solidly built. It shouldn't take too much to repair.
Well, I
But with the
believe
wall
I've already
crumbled,
taken care of someone to do that. I was wondering if you still had that old array code.
yeah, let me. And you see she sticks her head out the door. Someone bring me papers for Cornerstone's array.
I will send a telepathic communication to Zenlin. Should we tell her about the wonky magic in the tower?
Points
That's
a
in your
finger.
brain.
Yeah, points a finger. She can know I'm casting message all she wants.
Yeah.
And he'll say, I don't think we need to. If they did the warding and it's some kind of protection, I assume they probably know something about it. I know it was tweaked, but
I'll give our players a reminder here. She knew about the warding and she knew that it had mutated somehow. She doesn't know why it's acting the way it does.
Okay,
Right.
so we don't have to warn them then. Okay.
yeah.
She doesn't know exactly what it does, but she knows it's not doing what it's supposed to, rather.
Well, I guess
They're
if
capable. They're capable. They can. I'm sure they've got it handled. I just
Yeah, I was
didn't
gonna
want them to
say.
get there at the same time. My friend gets there and things happen, so I want you to be aware that there may be an elf there.
All right. And you said she's there to repair the teleportation circle?
Yeah, she was going to take a look at it. That was not Cocola's doing. She's doing it more as a favor than an actual business deal, at cost type of thing.
Oh, all right. Just have to check. You know, yeah, favors don't count as deals.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, anyone need a favor?
No, you're doing us plenty well favor by helping rebuild the town. We appreciate you. Now, if you don't mind, ladies, since we've gotten this taken care of, we have a bit of boring business to attend to. So, Zenlin,
Would it be all right if we kind of got a ways to travel? Is it okay if I cast in here? I don't want to be rude with bigger magic.
No, feel free. You just teleporting somewhere, I'm guessing?
Yeah,
Yeah, just make sure you don't take anything you didn't bring with you.
of course not. And he's going to reach in and pull out one of the small black gems he bought that's worth 50 gold pieces. He's going to look at it and concentrate. He's going to say, Iter. And the gem is going to split into like 13 little shards connected by these like shadowy tendrils and float up. And the shadows are going to grow until they consume the gems. And it's just a circle above us that drops. And as it crosses through, we teleport.
Hell yeah. Love the spell description. Yeah, as this circle crosses through you, it's instantaneous. You begin to rematerialize from the heads down. Are you going to the dock or are you going to House Kuhn?
We were going to the docks because we didn't
Just
want to be
clarifying.
stopped.
And the first thing that you feel as you come back to it, because you can't see this new place yet, you're still seeing the smoke-filled room, but you feel wind on your brow and salt water hitting your forehead. The salty spray is now visible to you. You can smell and taste it. And who wants to make a d20 roll for me?
I'm going to pass on that because my dice been hating me. One of you better rollers go right ahead and do that today.
Does Resnor want to do his first roll of the day?
Yeah, Resnor, first roll of the day is a luck roll. Go ahead and give it to me.
3.
3. And the next thing you notice is that you are suddenly soaked by a spray of salty seawater as you appear on the docks here in Sharn. You are fully materialized here on the docks.
Suppose we should check in with the dockmaster. Right? There's a
You
few, I
actually
believe.
see someone standing just on the outside edge of the teleportation circle, They've got a little box strapped to some suspenders. Very like German mountain outfit, like traditional yodeler's outfit almost.
Like Lederhosen?
Yeah, Lederhosen, that's the one. Looks like they're in Lederhosen. And you see a happy little gnome. Welcome to Sean. That'll be 5 gold pieces for the trip and convenience.
Just 5 here, and I'll give
Just
5
5.
gold. And hand the other
Pleasure doing
15
business
back
with you.
to Coca-Cola.
Are you here for the second wild night? The second night of the festival? For Wild Night?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, well, I hope you have a great time. I hear they're doing a real big to-do up on the living level. And then I hear there's an even bigger to-do down in the Undercity. But that one might get a bit raucous for out-of-towners, you know. Actually, wait. I know you. You're not an out-of-towner at all. You're Jillian Rilke. Oh, my,
Yes.
You're an absolute hero, ma'am. And he runs up and grabs one of your hands with both of his and starts shaking it. You really helped me ma out a couple of years ago. You know, I don't make much money as a, you know, attendant here for the teleportation circle. So it was very nice that you were able to help her out down in your clinic. Thanks to you, actually, Ma's able to work again. We've moved up to the 2nd level.
Right on. But I just
Jill, you
tried out.
You have no memory of this little gnome who seems to recognize you on sight, because he's just one of the many people who's been affected by your kindness. The kindness that has now left the Undercity of Shar.
Yeah. I'll ask him how's she doing now? She's still okay?
Well, you know, after you were able to help her with that sickness, she's doing great. We were so worried that the fever filth was going to get to her, and you came in and you know what? And you see he pulls a little set of lock picks out and starts picking the lock on his box strapped to his chest. No fee for the great Jillian Rilke.
Oh, you're too kind.
And he hands you 1 gold back. The rest of you still have to pay your fee.
Thank you.
And actually, Zen, go ahead and add an extra gold back. I miscounted. I saw 5 pictures on the screen and forgot one was me.
I mean, it was Cocola's money, so she can have 16 instead of 15.
Cool. Well, yeah. So the Undercity's in a bit. I'll tell you this: the Undercity's in a bit of a interesting state right now. Things are running more smoothly than normal, but in a way that's a little bit concerning. All the rough and tumbles are still around, but they're not really acting out, and no one really knows why.
Surely that's a good thing.
Well, you know what they say, calm before the storm and all that, you know? All right. He says, what? You got festivals to go to and fun to have, so I won't keep you much longer. I know they've got the thing up on the living level all day. Jill and Cola, you recognize the living level as being the level where most of the city druids live, where they've grown the forest within the city.
Well,
and then it's supposed to start like officially, as official as anything gets in the Undercity. I think it's around dusk. Weird to be telling time by the sun when you can't see it, eh?
True.
well, thanks, friend. Have a good day. Hopefully you get to enjoy some of the festival too, right?
Oh, I get off just in time to go down to the Undercity, yeah.
Well, take care and good tidings and all that nice stuff.
Good tidings to you, madam. And you see he peers at your badge, trying to recognize it. And then just,
Oh,
madam.
yep, madam works. Go with that. I suppose we go straight to Boar, no?
Makes sense. There first, then druids, then your mom, then home.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. So you're heading off to Boars. As you move along, you see that the city, Sharn's a busy city normally. You do see that it is a flutter with activity even for it. People are going to and fro. Looks like people are preparing for the festivities. And a lot of people are heading up to the 9th level where the druids live. You can hear the sounds of banjo strumming, some lutes being played. You can smell the smoke from the bonfires they're having. Even all the way down here on the 2nd level as you approach the warehouse where you first met Boar.
Does it look the same? Has he added like a good sign or anything?
You do see that there is a sign that has the company name on it. And it is fairly well engraved. It's much better than, none before. And the front of the building the face of the building appears to have been restored some. There's no longer peeling paint and cracked brick. It's a very nice facade.
It got a facelift.
Yeah.
And we
and
go,
you
I
walk
guess.
Yeah, you walk in and you see Boar and his Warforged assistant huddled over a table, frantically reading through papers.
Oh, I guess we did
you're
tell you we're coming.
just in time.
Just in time for what?
Good news.
What's
We
the good
have our
news?
first exclusive trading contract.
Oh, with who?
Well, it says here it's a family called the Ginraldens out in the Eldine Reaches. They do livestock mostly. And we've got a shipping contract for them.
Oh,
so
that's
we may need to divert your planned path a bit because I did promise them that we'd be able to begin shipment within a year. But they don't need cross-continent shipment. They're just going about, 1,000 miles.
Only 1,000? Wow, Boar, that's not too big a task at all, friend.
DM,
I mean, if you can make sure that the path is clear somehow, Beef's got an automated mode. You can just get started and he'll start running in the right direction as long as you give him a route.
Where can you tell us kind of like where this area is you're speaking of?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Here, let me pull a map up so I can actually just show you guys.
Because I have like the route.
I have the interactive map pinned in the Discord.
Oh yeah, thanks. So if you look in the Eldine Reaches section of the map.
Can you spell that?
I might be saying it wrong, honestly.
Oh.
Eldine.
Oh, no, I found it. It's
yeah.
Where's that at? Which direction?
the opposite way we went.
Northwest.
Yeah, very north.
Oh.
Like
And I think I might
almost
have
straight
had my
north
distance
from.
wrong here, actually.
Yeah, Eldine reaches like straight north from Sharn.
Yeah.
That
So
being said-
you will be traveling from Wolf's Paw to Redleaf is where he needs the train laid down. I think I have the distance wrong on that, but I can't.
Yeah, that's like the exact opposite of the way we were going. Oh
yeah,
heck.
no. That's why he's saying this is a full diversion. But if you could lay a track between those 2 points, that's an exclusive contract for you guys. That's like investment money, essentially.
I mean, there's nothing that says we can't go from Revan to that direction, but
That's
mean-
true. We could do that and then come back to Revan and then have like a split off, right? And
Yeah, I was just
we
gonna
want
say-
Central to be the central hub.
yeah, having Revan be our you know how you just said central hub where like maybe more than one crossroads comes into there would really help the town of Revan since we have personal stake in the town as is.
Can I ask a question, DM?
Yep.
How much of the, for lack of a better term, overworld like geography and maps would Zenlin know?
You would know where countries are located for sure.
Would he know about
You
that
would know-
region north of the Eldine Reaches?
Oh yeah, definitely. Zenlin would definitely know about that area.
Zenlin
And I'm going to
is
say,
on board.
go ahead and give me a history check with advantage.
Okay. It's a 6.
A 6. You heard once that your mother had some interests in that area, but you're not sure of what sort. Could have been investments, could have been like a fort, could have been anything.
I mean, based off the name, Zenlin has his own interests.
Yeah.
And you say it has to be done within a year.
Yes.
Okay, that's
I've calculated Beep's travel time over land. Sorry about that. Just laying the track from point A to point B should only take him about 2 weeks tops.
so we've got time. We definitely will head that way, but we don't have to like immediately rush there now.
Yes, and you don't need, to be clear, you don't need that to connect back here to Sean. They just need a rail between those 2 points.
Well, for what it's worth, we've made it to Revan. I'm sure Jolly gave you that update, but we may have a lead on a contract to possibly stock Iron Gut meat on our trains.
So Jolly and I haven't spoken.
Oh. Well, we're in Revan.
I have some very bad news about Jolly, actually.
Oh, is he a criminal?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, I knew that bringing him on. I just didn't think he was going to be caught.
You know, Bo, I seem to recall you guaranteeing that your magic gave you exactly who you needed.
Jolly was exactly who I needed. He's just not who the company needs anymore.
That seems convenient logic to use.
Look, you got a job, didn't you? You'd be happy with that. If I didn't cast the magic, you wouldn't have a job. It's not yeah, I guaranteed 100% accuracy.
You know what, Bo?
I was wrong.
Thank you. Genuinely,
You're welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome. What for?
Let's just
the
say
job,
that
the job.
let's just say that taking this job has changed my life more than you know.
Oh. Well, that's very touching, then.
But so yeah, we do have
yeah.
leads in Revan. We have property. We bought a tower.
Oh.
We're thinking of making Revan kind of the central hub. that we can go. So right now we don't need to connect it, but we could eventually have a connecting rail line going north from Revan up to the Eldeen Reaches.
Yes, yes. And there's... You all look a good bit different, honestly, from the last time I saw you. There's something about you. You got a bit more presence to you.
I mean, Jillian's a celebrity, apparently.
Oh, Jillian's been a celebrity.
My BFF, she's so popular.
I knew of Jillian before I cast the spell. Like, I was able to track her down easier than I was any of you with it.
Wow.
I mean, Cola, your name just kept coming up so strangely until I forced enough magic in it for it to say your name completely.
Sounds about right.
So Eldeen Reaches within a year. Once we get there, it'll take about 2 weeks, probably. I mean, that could be a month of travel at least.
And where do we need to take it again?
Let me...
From Wolf's Paw?
Wolf's Paw to Redleaf.
You wouldn't happen to know any magical circles in either of those places, would you? It would certainly expedite the process if you did.
I can certainly find one, if there is one.
That would be great. If you find one, we can be there in no time, get it done in 2 weeks, and continue what we were doing.
I'm here to stay in the office and facilitate. You know, it's what I'm here for. You haven't activated your sending stone yet. It's been a bit of an issue with contact. Forgot to mention that in the letter.
You know, looking through my bag...
Jolly has it.
That's exactly I was going to say. See, funny thing about that, Bull. You know that criminal you hired despite his sketchy background, he may have stolen that magical item from you because we do not have it.
Oh, well, then I can get it back quite easily. That's company property. The guards will turn it right over. That was the news about Jolly I meant to share with you. His trial was last week. He's due to be executed tonight.
Well, that's a bit extreme.
I mean, he stole from numerous members of the great houses. I agree it's extreme, but it's kind of what happens.
Says the man who started a company to directly oppose the great houses.
Yeah.
I imagine a town like this has many holding cells and guard houses and prisons. Do you know where he is, if we'd maybe be able to see him before his final moments? Say goodbye to our friend.
I know that his execution is scheduled to occur at the festival.
A bit showy.
You think the great houses aren't going to make an example?
You know, there is one thing to be said. Executing Jolly publicly is quite possibly the stupidest way to handle him you could do. If anyone can talk to the crowd and make an opportunity for himself,
it's definitely Jolly.
I'm with you. I'm with you. He's a
Jolly I know. I'm surprised he hasn't bribed the guards already.
Well, from what I hear, it was quite the chase to catch him in the first place. I heard he made it all the way back to Zilago and then was able to find a local noble who took him in and hid him. But
in
unfortunately, Zilargo, the country.
Oh.
And they brought him all the way back here for the execution instead of being done with it.
Well, from what I hear, most of his as yet unknown accomplices operated on the same line as him. So
Oh,
trains don't run on Wild Night. They'll all be in town. As far as making an example, like, it's a good way to do it. As long as the plan goes through, I guess I can't say they got that wrong.
Interesting.
it's a bit much if you ask me.
But yeah.
Oh,
You're muted.
Remove him from the company before inheritance became an issue.
You sound like you're in a tin can now, Chip.
I thought it would be best to remove him from the company before inheritance became an issue.
Well, probably a good thing we're here now. So let's get it taken care of so we can go try to see Jolly before all of this.
All right, well, let's all sit around the table here, make it all nice and official. I present a motion to remove Jolly Porter from the board of directors of the company. Is it seconded?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
And he looks very closely at Zen and Resner.
Once everyone says something, Resner kind of like doesn't look surprised, like he doesn't know what's going on, just says aye.
All right. And you see he grabs as the last person says aye, he takes the contract, whacks Jolly's name out with ink and a blush, and then blows on the contract, and the ink pulls away in sparkling black bits of dust. All right, well, there's that taken care of. I'll get you another sending stone. Are you able to wait for businesses to reopen tomorrow, or should I just send it to you?
Zenlin looks at the group and says, well, you know, we were planning to return as soon as possible, but it seemed like everything was handled back there. All our work is being done right now. We could probably stay the night and enjoy the festival. And Zenlin will try to slyly shoot a look at those in the party to hopefully convey that there's more to it than just going to the festival, without being obvious enough that Boar sees, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I did want to see my dad anyway.
Resnor's down.
Jill's down too.
All right. So, you know that the festival on the living level is supposed to kick off around 5-ish. The festival in the Undercity is supposed to kick off at dusk, which is about 6:37 here in Sharn this time of year. And you know that Jolly is being held in preparation for execution at the festival on the living level. We also have plans to talk to some druids and to get a new sending stone, I guess. Visit some families, maybe. We are coming up on the end of our usual time here. If we want to go long, I'm up to, but I know some of our party members might have things they need to do.
I'm okay going a bit longer if everyone else is.
Yeah, I'm okay to go longer.
But if we do, I will say, Chip, you still kind of sound super quiet and watery.
All right, cool. Let me grab a different mic.
I'm ready to call it, but if you guys want to play, I'll
I was
play.
gonna say if it's okay if we do call it there too. That either way works for me.
I'm sure eating Tootsie Rolls isn't helping, but my throat's starting to.
Because I know once we're outside and alone, we're not letting Jolly get executed, right? Right? This just became like a heist prison break session, right? Okay. Glad I'm not alone there.
Okay. Sound any better?
Much better.
Yeah.
Cool. I just unplugged my mic and plugged it back in.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So we are planning on freeing Jolly. We are planning on visiting druids, visiting family. You know where Jolly is going to be. You don't know if he's there yet. It is, midday. So it's probably about 1 in the afternoon now. You know he's going to be there at 5. Probably a little before. So they can prep him.
Jill. That guy at the docks. He said all the rough and toughs were acting oddly in line and calm, right?
Yes.
He referenced a calm before a storm, but what if Jolly wasn't just in charge of a group of thieves on a train line? What if Jolly ran the entire fucking Undercity? Rude of their leader getting captured would certainly make me back down and toe the line for a while, avoid suspicion as much as possible.
I will remind you that your party containing Jolly was specifically targeted by an Undercity gang. Looked like a small gang, but they said they had a boss who told them to do it.
And we did assume it had to do with Bo, and it might, but there might have been more.
Yeah, none of them addressed Boar directly. He just looked scared of them and hid.
Which, if you think about it, would explain the public execution on a festival night, no less. Public execution is whatever, but doing it in the middle of a festival is a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
I will remind you, Wild Night is the festival of the Fury, who is like a god of passion and hatred and everything like that.
The
Executions. I'll let you know, executions are often dedicated to the Fury.
Oh.
Even people who worship the Sovereign Host recognize the power of the Dark Six. Like, not devout followers like clerics and stuff like that, but people who are just, the average layman. Like a sailor will pray to certain members of the Dark Six before going on a ship, as well as members of the Sovereign Host. It's, I know you exist. I know this is your domain. Here's a prayer for respect, so you don't fuck with me.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, what do you got? Do you guys want to keep going, or?
I was about to say, I'm good with either.
Yeah, I can go either way. If we want to end, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Or if we want to go.
Let's keep
I'm
going for
okay
a little bit. I think
Yeah.
we'll cut before we head up to the festival or head up to try to free Jolly for sure, because that's a full session kind of thing.
Well, you said the festival is on the living layer where the druids grew the trees, which is also where the druids leave, which is where we were going next.
Yeah,
Right?
you can go up there. I'm just saying we'll cut before you're trying to
okay.
free Jolly. We'll
So, yeah, I
cut
guess-
pre-execution hour.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we check with the druids, maybe stop by your parents, and then go to the festival. Or timing-wise, maybe we do. We should probably do your parents before the festival, all things considered.
Yeah. And I have a
All right.
thought
Oh,
because apparently Jolly was stealing from the houses. Well,
He was stealing from anybody who was rude It just so happens that some of those people who were rude were members of the houses.
Well,
He
maybe
wasn't
I could.
stealing like from House Kundelak. He was stealing from like a lady of the house.
Maybe I could talk to my mother, and she could maybe pull a string and get him sent to the mines. I'm sure he'd rather go to the mines as punishment rather than be executed. Right?
I don't disagree that he would probably prefer that. I think if they're planning to execute him in a few hours, getting any person to change that is going to take a lot, especially coming from and Zenlin will look around to make sure no one is close by, supposedly disgraced member of a house.
Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
God, oh, that was so scary. It's a non-natural 20, but it was extremely close to being a 6.
Cool. Yeah.
I wouldn't say disgraced, Zenlin. I would say spread your wings and fly. Just a child they sent out on their own.
But that's not the story that they've been telling everyone.
You,
Well, she didn't say I
Cole,
was
you would know the story that's been being told is that you weren't enough of a credit to the house for the house to continue to support you.
right. There you go.
It's not, you aren't disgraced. It's just, hey, you're not good enough at your job. You got fired from the house, basically.
There you go.
And the story that's going around is your mother, in a fit of anger at this failure, disowned you.
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
mean, we can try, but I don't even think it's got to be you. I just think even your mother, however powerful she is, would probably struggle to change an execution happening in less than half a day.
Well, it could
But
be
it's
worth a shot because listen, Zen, if we try to break him out of here, I mean, and I'm not against it, but I'm not 100% for it because if we get caught, then we go on a wanted list, and that affects our business, not only Boar, that also affects Iron Gut business, that affects the meadery. I am now the direct heir to the Iron Gut family. What decisions that I make and do affect not only me and not only you, but those things too.
That's true. But you are the head of the Iron Gut family.
Heir.
And while you're true heir, you're right, the heir to the Iron Gut family, you're correct. While you're right that all of your decisions do have ramifications for the Iron Gut family, the business, for all of those things, it's got to be you. And if you don't stand for what you believe in, what good are the rest of those things?
Well, I know. I'm just saying. I can't guarantee, but I'll try with my mother, of course, but I can't guarantee it. And also, I'm just saying we should think long and hard. I mean, Jolly is our friend, and of course, it's a tough decision, but we have other things definitely at stake aside from just a reputation now.
Yeah. As you sit here and think about like these titles that have been given to you are not just a gift, they are a burden in a lot of ways and a restraint. You have more power, but you have to be aware of how you use it.
And Jillian's the deputy mayor of Revan now, so if we're to get busted, because if this is an execution, this is coming of course from the great houses, we would have to be breaking through securities and so on and so forth. That's somehow we're stronger than we were, but that's some higher level magic that we may not be able to quite tap into yet. If we get caught, a lot of things go down the drain and we let a lot of people down. We're not just a ragtag group anymore. We took on responsibility in a place and started to build a home.
What if it was Jillian?
Well,
Fuck.
I'd say the same thing. Honestly, and I love Jill, but I would say the same thing if Reznor was deputy mayor and we were here doing this, I would say the same.
Maybe
how
we
does
can
Jillian
get
feel
him
here?
moved.
I'm all for trying to get him moved. I know I may not have had a lot of reason up to now to express myself fully, but I may not particularly care about business. It may be a means to an end, but that doesn't mean I won't fulfill my obligation. But to me, my honor is worth more than all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, hey, I don't want to try to do something for him. I just worry about the prison break aspect of it.
Yeah.
Everyone
go ahead and just give me a D20 roll quick.
Zen got a 9.
Reznor got a 15.
Jill?
Jill got a 15.
And Coca-Cola. Oof. Jill and Reznor. Something that Zenlin and Coca-Cola have said resonates with you for a second. You can't be seen helping Jolly break out, or there will be consequences. And just something about something in that phrase ticks at you for a second. You're like, there's something here.
Coca-Cola, what if you did talk to your mom and see if she could have him moved to a Kundarak prison?
Yeah, that's my thought. And like, you're the deputy mayor of Revan, so maybe with my mother's pull and yours, if you're willing, that's two people in a place of power. You could attest for his help and that he gave in Revan and such, and say, I don't know, like a character witness, maybe. I don't know, but I'm willing to talk to my mom. She's on my shit list, but I do have the ability to be cordial when necessary. I didn't really want to talk to her, but to save Jolly, I will.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see my dad. I don't give a fuck about my mom.
Perhaps when you talk
So it sounds like... Oh, go ahead.
Perhaps when you talk to your mom, mention that he does have a very special skill set that she might find valuable.
That's true.
That is true. Resno, what do you think? If you think it's too much of a risk for us to be involved, we've decided everything as a business with majority.
Yeah, Reznor, what do you think as you hear your friends discussing whether or not to leave a friend behind?
I think no matter the cost, you should never leave someone who trusts you behind. And while Jolly may have done shady things, he's helped all of us. It's the least we do to do what we can to help him now.
I'm all for talking to your mom, and if she can do something, that's amazing. But if not, I don't think I'm ready to give up.
I'm not saying give up.
I'm
just saying we shouldn't be the face of a prison break.
Yeah, I think here we're going to go ahead and move to the Kundarak family residence as we arrive. I'm going to say you're able to continue your discussion while walking and talking if you want.
Yeah, I don't say give up, Zen. I say that we can't be the face of a prison break operation, but Jillian seems to have quite the reputation with the people in the Undercity as well. maybe we could, talk to one of her former patients. She could do a medical check on a former patient, and we could get one of the gangs of the Undercity, or maybe Jolly has followers in the Undercity. We could get them to do it. Something. I'm just saying we
true.
can't be directly associated with that.
There
I'm
are
not
options.
against back alley, mafia deals. I'm not against any of that. I'm just saying we can't be the forefront face getting caught with our hands in the cookie jar.
I don't disagree. One thing I will say is, in my mind, a good prison break doesn't have a face.
All right. So we're pulling up to the Kundarak house now with the walk. And Kokola, you see standing outside a stout house guardsman, Rutber de Kundarak. Your
What's his name?
eldest brother.
Oh,
Rutber?
yep, it's my bro. I can't remember if this is one that I have a good relationship with or not, because I know like some of my brothers I do, some of them I don't.
Our description we came up with for Rutber was a stout guardsman of the house. He's straight to the point and has a charm to his simplicity. It's not the simplicity of someone one-dimensional, but that of a proud dwarf with nothing to hide, and he has one young daughter, the only other woman in the family beside your mother.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Let's see.
Kokola, I'm surprised to see you. Are you here for a visit?
Yeah, just coming to see Dad, and maybe talk to Mom too.
Jillian, it's so
Hey,
good
how's
to
it?
see you. Well, it's the same as it always is. You know, maybe a little bit quieter now that I'm not waking up to spirited arguments between Kokola and Spritmir, but
Well, it
about
happens.
the same as always. Good to see your faces back. Oh, and you've got new friends.
Yeah, this is my friend Zen, and
Pleasure
this
to
is
meet
my
you.
friend Rez. This is Zen and Rez. I won't say your full names in
Hey.
case you want nobody to know.
Goes to shake both of your hands. Zen and Rez, it is a pleasure. I'll be welcome in our house as long as you respect it.
Resnar gives a big grin.
Kokola, you are bringing them in under your guest rights, yes?
Yeah.
Or Jillian, are they coming in under yours?
Coca-Cola's
Who's taking
guest rights.
responsibility for them? Is what I'm guessing. I'm
It's
asking,
me.
I guess.
It's me. We're just coming to visit. I'm not really here on house business.
Well, good to see you taking some responsibility. As he claps you on the shoulder. He's just
She'll
joking with
roll
you.
her eyes. Yeah, so if he lets us in, we'll just go on in.
All right. You see, as you enter the house, this is not a palatial estate, but it is certainly a large house, especially for the city of Sharn. You have a full, front yard and everything beyond the gates, and appears to be a 2-story building, but you know that it digs down an additional 3 stories into the layer of stone between the 8th and 9th levels. Playing in the yard, you see your 2 youngest brothers, Melon and Yellen. The
I'll
twins.
give them both hugs and noogies. And then
You see that they are.
in.
You see that they are running back and forth, and they are throwing blunted daggers at each other. That one hit you! I saw it! You winced! You winced! No, I didn't! No, I didn't!
I just need you to know, in the real world, I have 11 brothers and 5 sisters. So this is right on point for a big family full of nonsense.
And then you actually see Melon out of the corner of his eyes notices you. Coca-Cola! Catch! and throws one of the daggers right at you. I'm going to need a dexterity save to see if you can catch this dagger. You can definitely dodge it. He didn't hit your AC with that roll, with that attack, but
I got a 15.
that's enough to catch it. You beat his attack roll.
I have a plus 10
As
to
you-
dex.
As you grab this little blunted dagger out of the air, a couple inches in front of your chest, and he says, "I knew you could get it.
Then
Now,
I'll just-
now throw it at Yellen."
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just throw it. Hold on, and I'll roll it.
Cool.
1 second.
Yeah, just give me a attack roll with an unenchanted dagger.
I don't have any enchanted daggers. I just have
Okay,
my
cool.
regular one. Oh, 11. How joyous.
Your brother is not wearing armor and has a dexterity of 11. You hit.
I won't like
You-
you know,
You
Peyton
got your
Manning.
mother's dexterous build. Your brothers resemble your father at a very young age. They are stout, like their eldest brother.
I would have made sure to aim for someplace non-dangerous, like a
Yeah, you're not gonna. No, I
Or a
assume
thigh.
that you're not hurting him. It's a blunted. It's essentially the Eberron version of a Nerf dagger.
yeah. Perfect. I don't want to bully him. I like
You
those
can
too.
tell. You can tell this is magically blunted so as to not harm anyone. This is a rich kid's toy.
There you go.
But yeah,
No, we're not
let's see.
on that boat,
Are you-
please, if you're wondering.
Are you moving back home?
Oh no, kiddo. Just stopping by to visit.
Oh. Okay. And they go back to playing with their daggers.
Bless him.
Oh, Mom and Dad are inside. They were talking in the kitchen.
Okay, good. I'm headed to see him. Behave yourselves or whatever you kids do these days.
Cool. Are you trying to be obvious with your presence as you walk in, or are you trying to like be a little quiet about it? You do have a key still, and you're welcome to let yourself in.
I mean, yeah, I'll open the door and go in like it's my parents' house, but like I'm not like trying to be sneaky, especially my brothers already know I'm there, you know. My mom's got eyes in the back of her freaking head, sort of thing, you know.
Okay. Yeah. You open the door, well-oiled door, barely squeaks, but once it opens past the amount of space that someone about Jillian's size would need to squeeze in, you know there is an intentional squeak on the door that your mother has left there as a extra warning system.
Yeah.
And
I'll just push it in, lead everybody in, close it, head towards the kitchen.
it just and you hear your father. Boys, dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. Or supper. Sorry, that's the lunch one, not dinner.
Good to know, Dad, but it's not the boys.
You hear a pan crash to the floor, and your father runs out and lifts you up into a hug. He's only about 2 inches taller than you, so it's a very awkward lift.
Hey, oh gosh, you're squeezing me. I can't breathe. Good to see you, Dad.
If you can talk, you can breathe, and I'm not putting you down until I'm happy. I haven't seen you or heard from you in a month.
Well, you know, fired and all.
Oh, I've missed you, my sweet.
Well, I missed you too, Dad. And hey, guess what? Your dad, he's awesome. He's doing great.
You've met, and you see his eyes immediately go to the badge. Oh, we have so much catching up to do. I'm glad you've been able to spend some time with your grandfather.
Plenty of time every day for like the last I don't know. How many weeks has it been, guys? Couple? Oh, you know Jillian, Dad. This is Jill, obviously, and Zen and Rez. They're friends of mine, business associates as well.
Zen and Rez, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
And you see this guy, for a small man, is massive. Like, he's both rotund and just broad in general.
Yeah, like
Shoulders
lumber.
are about the same size as Resnor's. And he's the shape of a meatball, essentially. It's a pleasure to meet you both. Come in. I can make dinner fit. I can make dinner. I can make supper fit for all of us. Yes, 4 more. So I just need to. All right. And you see he immediately turns and rushes back into the kitchen and starts cooking. And your mother is just steadily, slowly walking out of the kitchen. Cola?
Oh, Mother Dearest.
Jillian? And then was it Zen and Rez, I heard?
It's a pleasure, man. And he'll do like the full formal, like brush like his lips on the back of his thumb.
Yeah, you have formal training on how to deal with nobility from your youth.
Reznor gives
You
a
never had
smile
to
at
use it because you never met anyone, but you
Yeah.
have the training. And she smiles at you. Oh, Coca-Cola, you surprise me every time I meet a friend of yours. They all seem to have manners. Maybe you'll learn from their example?
I'm just
So
gonna blink at
you haven't learned from dear Jillian's yet. I suppose I shouldn't have too much hope.
Well, you know what they say, Mom, opposites attract.
I
Jill's the
suppose I
yin
did
and
marry your father, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Speaking of my father, grandfather as well, he's absolutely awesome. He's, super strong these days. He's working. He's just great.
Well, I'm so glad to hear he's well.
Yes, he is. He is in perfect condition, actually. Well beyond his years in condition.
Yeah, you see your mother is looking at you dead in the eyes, trying to glean if you've got a hidden meaning here. And I think if you do and you're trying to hide it, I need a deception check. If you're just being genuine and trying to share the news with your mother that your grandfather's doing great.
I've
Give me
got a dirty
persuasion.
20.
Hell yeah. That beats your mother's dirty 19. As you see, she looks at you and you note it, and you don't think she sees through your facade. So, Coca-Cola, how are things with that? What was it you got into? Trading company?
Oh, they've been pretty good. We've done really well. We have purchased some property. We've expanded some. We've got some good business contracts going. I'm
You
heir
see
to the
your father
Alderbeck
calls
family.
out over his shoulder. Our girl's a property owner. At less than a month out of the nest? Oh, see? I told you she could do it.
Yeah, some people have faith in me in this world.
Roll a d4 for psychic damage.
1d4 psychic damage. She deserves it.
Yeah,
She's
well,
really...
your mom's going to make a save against that. I'm giving you a free vicious mockery.
1D for emotional damage.
Max damage, a 4.
On a natural 3, you accidentally cast vicious mockery on your mother.
Good.
As you see her wince a little. Well, I'm glad to see you're doing so well out from under the wings of the house.
Yeah, it's nice to do things without the help of the house at all.
Oh, that's a
It's
lovely new cloak you have, Coca-Cola.
It is, isn't it? It's very lovely. I just got it like
I hope you were very grateful to whoever gave that to you.
yeah, I just got it like a day or two ago. Haven't had it for very long.
Your mother actually kind of narrows her eyes at that. A day or two. Well, it's very nice. And you see her start to slip for a second, like she almost let something slip and caught herself.
Well, if you don't mind, Mom, I'd like to talk to you for a moment. Zen, Rez, Jill, if you want to go have something to eat or help my dad or something.
Yes, I suppose we should talk, shouldn't we? Sort of iron things out after you've left.
Yeah, I have a favor to ask as well.
Sure, we can give you some time. I just wanted to say, ma'am, you raised a wonderful daughter. The things she will do for her family know no bounds.
Well, it's very touching. And your mother moves with you off to her personal study. Cola. Zen, Jill, Rez, you are here hanging out with Cola's dad, who has laid out a tray, like a charcuterie board, for you to snack on while he finishes cooking the meal. As he turns to you. So how is she really? She puts up a strong front, but there's some bags under her eyes. Doesn't look like she's been sleeping too great.
Oh, well, the town we're in were attacked by wyverns, but we were able to fight them off, and yeah.
You know, she was also living in the wilderness for a month before we got the property.
That's
It's not like, you know, your wife didn't, you know,
Closer
make her
to
homeless.
the wilderness.
Yeah, we were camping, roughing it.
Oh, well, has she been making sure to have her breakfast beer every morning?
Oh, yes, she enjoys a full dwarven every morning.
Well, I'm glad she's carrying some family traditions on. And we'll move up to Mother Kundarak's study, where she is now sat behind her desk and has motioned you to one of the chairs in front of it. Sit.
Is it one of those like big leather kind of chairs that you see in a fancy, expensive lawyer's office?
No, you look at it and you have the feeling that it's designed to both be as pretty as possible and as uncomfortable as possible.
Does it have an
whoever
arm?
sat there is on edge. It does. It has two arms, but they're just a little too high up to rest comfortably. You kind of got to cock your shoulders out to put your elbows on them.
I was thinking more along the lines of sitting on it with like one leg dangle off, one leg crossed under the other, kind of leaned back against the back of the chair.
I mean, you can make an acrobatics to balance on it. It's about an inch and a half thick piece of wood. This is a wooden chair. I should have made that clear.
I got a natural 20 for 25. I'm balanced on that chair.
Cola, you are sassily, bisexually sat on the arm of the chair.
Yes. I'm Tyrion Lannister in the small council right now with my glass of wine, sitting smug as shit on this chair.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am.
Your mother looks at you. Sit properly and report in.
Hey, I'm
Agent
just here on
Iron Gut.
I'm just here on a visit, Mom. You know?
You're just here, and I would appreciate a verbal report. You can address me as matron, Agent Iron Gut.
Yeah, Iron Gut is pretty fancy, isn't it? And I'll just kind of slide down into the chair.
We've had some agents in your area recently,
Oh,
and from the sounds of it, they've gone missing somehow. Do you have any information on this? It seems they've taken
No.
some form of extraplanar trip.
Well, we had a wyvern attack recently. There was that. A couple of dwarves died during that. You know, their bodies are in the town getting prepped for burial. There's supposed to be a service within the next day or two, but that's
Do you have names for these dwarves that died in the attack?
I do. Kinnick, Auric, and I guess I didn't write the third ones down.
I'm going to say your grandfather would have given it to you at some point. I don't think I mentioned it in game. You just addressed him as a former employee. But his name was Beller. Belar. Beller.
Yeah, so I'll give her all three of those names.
All right. Yes, those are our agents. Shame. I have to send. There's perhaps it's a job you could handle.
Oh, and what job is that?
Are you ready to follow your mother into wet work, Cola?
Actually, no, I much prefer wards and seals.
It's a shame you got fired from that.
Oh, it is a shame, but I'm really good at it, actually. And taking
Yes.
unnecessary lives is not really something that I'm a fan of, matron.
Well, I assure you it's quite necessary. Unless there's information you've left out. This is for the betterment of the house, after all. You don't even know what the contract is yet.
Yes, but at the detriment to which houses?
None. It's just a commoner that we need taken care of. You're familiar, I'm sure, as a new property owner, Mayor Brightfoot.
Oh, I've heard of the mayor, but you may have saw Jillian as active mayor, so...
You hadn't informed me yet, no. And your mother is going to cast Gift of Gab on you.
What's the
You
save
do
on
not
that?
rem- There is not one. You do not remember the last sentences of the conversation. From the time she said Mayor Brightfoot's name.
Well, I already knew she's a bitch and a half, so that's okay.
You don't even, and she says, you don't even know who the contract's on yet.
That's okay. I don't prefer that kind of work.
Well, then we'll need the finances for Iron Gut Meadery. That is in your line of work, isn't it?
Yes, but House Kundarak doesn't have ownership to Iron Gut Meadery, so I can't necessarily just hand over their paperwork to you.
Well, that's sort of the point of a spy, isn't it, dear? To get things that you don't have ownership of. so that you can.
Yes, but I believe my assignment was to spy on the trading company, not
I'm
Iron
giving
Gut.
you another one.
I respectfully decline.
I'm sorry?
I respectfully decline.
Let me make myself clear, Cocola. You're my daughter, and I love you. But I wasn't asking.
And I'm also my father's daughter.
Your father is a wonderful man who is too kind to do what needs done. That's why he doesn't leave this house.
Right.
Would you like to be under the same restrictions?
Well, I mean, I could just respectfully decline to be a member of the Kundarak family anymore if that's what I need to do, but I won't bring harm to the Iron Gut Meadery. I respect those people. They work hard for everything that they have, and I'm not going to do anything to put that in jeopardy. I'm sorry.
It's not about harm, Cocola.
I don't
It's
believe
about
you.
betterment.
I don't believe you.
Think about what the Iron Gut Meadery could do with the Kundarak coffers behind it. Better pay, better housing. Maybe all those people wouldn't be cooped up in shacks stacked on top of one another, and they could have real houses.
Those people are happy, not enslaved to the man because they owe them money. They're happy. They're living happy lives. They love their families. They love their community. They love everyone around them, and they don't care about money.
How many of your grandfather's vassals have you spoken to about how happy they are?
I've spoken
There's a
to
reason your father left Revan, isn't there?
Yeah, because he married
You
you.
don't think it was because he was too happy?
Well, you're a bit persuasive on the things that you'd like to happen. I'm sure he didn't have a full choice in the matter, did he?
No, because your grandfather didn't give him one. He could be happy, or he could be a member of the clan Iron Gut.
Well,
There's a reason
times
he's
are
not the one wearing that silver badge.
Well, listen, one of my character's ideals here, and I think I have my sheet open, I have to read it, is something about the betterment of my clan being something.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll tell you what it is.
No, I know it.
Yeah, abandon old traditions and find better ways to do things. That's Cocola's mindset. There is things don't have to be the way that they always were when they can be better differently.
I'm trying to make things better for all of us, Cocola. I can do it. You just have to help me. I need a wisdom saving throw, please. Or let me check the type on that. I believe it's wisdom. Yeah. Wisdom saving throw.
12.
12? All right.
Hold on, let me look here and see if I have anything.
Coca-Cola does have a point of inspiration.
Yeah, I might use it. I was looking to see if I had anything, but I don't think I took any magic involving that, so I suppose not. Okay, Let me see if I can do better on another one. Okay, that's better. That's 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
You make the save as you feel your mother try to lay a potent enchantment upon you. And you see that she is holding a dragon shard in her hand that is bleeding, that is cutting into her flesh where she is bleeding.
I have one of those too. A dragon shard. Listen, Mom.
I will say she does not know if the spell has succeeded or not. And what you hear is the command, you will take this assignment. And you will believe it to be willing.
Listen, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, but I didn't come here for any of that. Clearly, we can't have a civil conversation just like old times, you know? So,
Clearly, we can't.
I'm going to go see Dad now. And if you're ready to be...
I'm sorry, Coca-Cola Iron Gut, but you aren't. Your guest rights to House de Kundarak are revoked.
That's fine.
Please tell Jillian she's welcome back anytime.
Yeah,
and she'll stand up from her desk and wave a couple of fingers and the door opens.
Well, I'll go find Jill and Zen and Rez.
Yeah, they are all down in the kitchen with your father. Your mother does not follow you out of the door.
Can I ask Daddy Kundrak a question while that's happening?
Yes, you can. We're actually going to run that scene quick. So you are in the kitchen with the patriarch of this branch of the Dukundarak family. So, what all brought you into this trading company that Coca-Cola's with? I'm sorry, I'm not good with strangers. I don't meet very many of them.
Oh, well, you
Jillian,
know.
Jillian, did someone take over your clinic for you while you were out?
I don't know. It's probably closed because, well, it might still be there, but they're probably charging the under.
Yeah, you know someone was taking it over, but they were going to charge full price.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably gouging all the folks in the Undercity.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Yes, it's really a shame. Oh, but I'm sorry, you look like you had something you wanted to say there.
Oh, I mean, you asked how we got mixed up in the trading company. I was just going to say, you know, I'm obviously not from here. I'm from Zendrick. And I was, you know, it seemed like a good opportunity to get out and see the rest of the world. In fact, I think your father mentioned something about your family having ancestors in Zendrick or something.
You know, I bit of a family history buff here, actually. I didn't go out and do all the traveling my father did to learn about it, but with Kundarak resources at my disposal, you know, I've gotten quite a bit of information in. I haven't looked at it in quite some time, though. You know, it was a sort of a passion project right after I left, to prove the old man wrong kind of thing. You're welcome to the notes if you'd like.
Oh, I was just curious whereabouts in Zendrick your people had come from, or Ben, if there was anyone still there. I know he mentioned something about wanting someone to seek out the family line or something.
So as far as I am aware, we moved down there about 1,000 years ago. But I think we were only there for about a generation, maybe a generation and a half. before the family packed up and moved back to Corvair.
Ah. That's interesting. It was just something he had said. It bothered me a bit. Seemed odd.
Yes, from what I know, they spent most of the time living in Stormreach. It wasn't quite as big of a port back then, but most of Zendrick is still, how to say this?
Oh, it's a savage,
Considered
wild jungle.
uncivilized.
Oh, that's a nicer way.
I would say that. Well, from my research, there's quite a few civilizations in Zendrick that have feats that we've yet to accomplish, but it's just a different sort of civilization,
Oh, definitely. It's quite a shock seeing how things work here.
Yes. Well, and are you from the surface or the unders down in Kaiba?
Oh, yes. No, I'm from down in Kaiba.
Ah, yes. I haven't done too much study on your people, but and you see, you get the sense that this guy's probably never met a drow, but he's got, you see, he's opening up some of the kitchen cabinets. This is a massive kitchen, by the way, like industrial size. And you see underneath some of the kitchen cabinets are actually bookshelves filled with pieces, like bits of history research and things like that. Looks like while he's waiting for a sauce to finish simmering, he sits in here and does history research as a hobby.
That's amazing.
If the kids are busy. He says, "Yes, is it true that some of the mothers down there will eat their own children ritualistically?"
I think Zenlin probably has a slight disassociation moment at that, considering recent events. And he says, I believe that's a metaphor.
Oh, yes. They don't translate very well, especially when a lot of the writings I have here were actually originally giantish observations on your people. Because, but I'm sure you're aware of the history there, where they had, those of you who still lived on the surface sort of in serfdom for them.
That's one word for it, yes. Yeah, I mean,
what would you use?
I mean, serfdom implies some level of autonomy and individuality. By my understanding, it was a lot less pleasant with the giants, I believe. But
they provided you with housing, didn't they? And food? Like that's serfdom, yeah? And you're suddenly aware that you're talking to a noble heir who went from one noble house directly to another and has not left this building since his firstborn child was born.
You're right. We should have been so grateful to survive and work for the well-being of another people.
I'm not saying it was right. I just... Well, I'm sorry. I suppose I've spoken on things I didn't have an understanding of. My apologies, Zen.
I mean, how could you? Like you said.
That's why I do my best. And he gestures at all the books. And I try.
Oh, no, definitely.
I'm trying to learn now,
right,
even.
Sir.
No, it's not. No, it's not. but I'm going to work to be better. Same as I did when Jillian first came here. Did you know I thought her people were still called hobbits? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that out loud. I'm so sorry, Jillian. It's only been 30 years. I'm really trying. Please excuse me.
It's okay. And I've never ridden a dinosaur either.
Ridden a Is that a thing people say?
The plains folk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I'd love to speak with you about the history of our family in Zendrick. That's something I feel educated on.
That would be very interesting. Like I said, I was just a bit curious. He sort of mentioned in passing one night after everyone went to bed.
Actually, that reminds me. Cola, go ahead and give me a knowledge arcana behind the scenes quick. We'll come to that in a second. I just wanted to have you pre-roll it. But yeah, and you have a very lovely discussion about the history of his family in Zendrick. He basically says he heard they moved there after something wiped out the clan holdings. There's no record of what it was. But he talks about how his clan left the underground long before most of the others because of disagreements they had with the current king. And they did not settle in the Mrar holds. They moved. It's described as far south as their feet could take them.
Interesting. Well, this has been quite fascinating, sir. Oh, look, there's Coca-Cola.
Oh, Coca-Cola, are you ready for supper?
Oh, well, I got a 17 on the check. But actually,
your mother tried to cast chaos on you.
Yeah, that didn't work for her, did it? Well, Dad, I'd love to stay for dinner, but unfortunately, your wife doesn't know how to maintain a civil conversation like a general dwarf being. So I'm going to take my friends and we're going to go eat somewhere else. It's been lovely seeing you. I probably won't be back since Mom has rescinded my guest rights to House Kundarak. Hey, could you give her these? And I'm going to leave my cloak and dagger on the counter.
Fuck. Okay. Your dad looks at She rescinded your guest rights?
Yeah.
Well, this just won't stand.
You should write to your dad too, by the way. He'd really like to hear from you. And your sister.
Oh, I write with my sister all the time. I've heard she's doing quite well now that she's moved down to the sea.
Yeah. Her health was bothering her, but you should check in on Grandpa more.
I'll try. You know,
I'd say come visit in Revan, but you know, we know that won't happen. Love you, Dad. Hasta la vista.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage as you walk out of the door.
$31.
Your father follows you out the front door quietly. And he's just sort of looking at you through the door. Like he's standing on the porch looking at you. And as you cross the lawn and exit the gate, as Rotber opens it for you, you can see your brothers are off. It looks like they're digging a hole under one of the trees in the corner of the yard. Rotber holds the gate open. Mom sent a message ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
If
well,
you'd like, we can keep in touch. Meet at a tavern every once in a while.
yeah, feel free to come to Revan anytime.
Maybe I'll stop in next time I get some vacation.
We have family there, you know. Not
Yeah,
just
I
me. You got family there too.
I mean, I went up on the family trips. I met grandfather. It's just I got a good job here. Got a daughter. Got a husband.
Well,
I got people who need me here. You know. But if I ever have time, maybe I'll bring them up with me.
yeah, it'd be good to see you. Take care of yourself.
And you cross the threshold of the gate. Do you look back?
No, absolutely fucking not.
All right. Is everyone else following, or do you guys have anything you want to say or do while you're here?
I mean, Zen will follow, but he'll probably do like an awkward, like, thank you, it was you were host. We'll keep an eye on her.
Yeah, keep an eye on her.
Jill will
And as the
give
rest go Jill.
Jill will give Cocola's dad a little one-arm hug and say, tell him bye and to take care. It was nice to see him.
It was nice to see you too. And as everyone crosses the threshold and Coca starts to walk away, you hear thudding footsteps run across the lawn, and you see your father come up to the edge of the gate, step through, and Coca, I need you to roll 5d10s for me. As your father breaks his gaze and crosses the threshold of the house to chase after you on that 31 persuasion.
That's a lot. 35.
You see your father crosses the threshold. I'm assuming you turn when you hear footsteps running after you.
Yeah, just in case it's my crazy mom trying to stab me or something.
Okay. You turn, see your father cross through the beautifully enameled pearl gate in front of your house and immediately start bleeding from his nose, eyes, and ears as he takes 35 points of psychic damage and grabs onto you. Coca-Cola! Coca-Cola! I can't stay here. I can't. And it reasserts itself, and he walks back into the yard. What? You see Rutger looks shocked. Your twin brothers in the corner are crying as they see their father leaking blood from every facial orifice, and that's where we're going to call this session. Oh, and you see your mother in the upstairs window. Sorry, that's where we're going to call this session.
Zenlin has Fireball.
Yeah. We'll see you next week when we see what the fuck is going on in House de Kundarak and at the Living Levels Wild Night Festival. Thank you for being here. I've been your GM Chipper. This has been Gilded Destinies episode 23, and it's been some not so boring business. Catch you next week. Bye-bye.